It's 1962, March 28th. I'm sitting by the window on the Prague-Berlin train. Night's falling. I never knew I liked night descending like a tired bird on smoky wet plain. I don't like comparing nightfall to a tired bird. I didn't know I loved the earth. Can someone who hasn't worked the earth love it? I have never worked the earth, it must be my only platonic love. And here I have loved rivers all this time, whether motionless like this they curl skirting the hills, European hills crowned with chateaux, or whether stretched out flat as far as the eyes can see. I know you can't wash in the same river even once. I know the river will bring new lights you'll never see. I know we've lived slightly longer than a horse, but not nearly as long as a crow. I know this has troubled people before and will trouble those after me. I know all this has been said 1,000 times before and will be said after me. I didn't know I loved the sky, cloudy or clear. The blue-walled Andrei studied on his back at Borodino. In prison, I translated both volumes of War and Peace into Turkish. I hear voices, not from the blue vault, but from the yard. The guards are beating someone again. I didn't know I loved trees, bare beaches near Moscow and Perdelkino. They come upon me in winter, noble and modest. Beaches are Russian the way poplars are Turkish. The poplars of Izmir, losing their leaves, they call me the knife, lover like a young tree. I blow stately mansions sky high. In the Ilgas woods in 1920, I tied an embroidered linen handkerchief to a pine bough for luck. I never knew I loved roads, even the asphalt kind. Whereas behind the wheel, you're driving from Moscow to Crimea, Kokatebele, formerly Göktepe in Turkish. The two of us inside a closed box. The world flows past on both sides, distant and mute. I was never so close to anyone in my life. Bandits stopped me on the red road between Bolu and Girde when I was 18. Apart from my life, I didn't have anything in the wagon they could take. And at 18, our lives are what we value least. I've written this somewhere before. Wading through a dark, muddy street, I'm going to a shadow play. Ramzan night, a paper lantern leading the way. Maybe nothing like this ever happened. Maybe I read it somewhere. An 8-year-old boy going to the shadow play, Ramzan night in Istanbul, holding his grandfather's hand. His grandfather has on a fez and is wearing the fur coat with a sable collar over his robe. And there's a lantern in the servant's hand. And I can't contain myself for joy. Flowers come to mind for some reason. Poppies, cactuses, jonquils. In the jonquil garden in Kadıköy, Istanbul, I kissed Marika. Fresh almonds on her breath. I was 17. My heart on a swing touched the sky. I didn't know I loved flowers. Friends sent me 3 red carnations in prison. I just remembered the stars. I loved them too, whether I'm float watching them from below, or whether I'm flying at their side. I have some questions for cosmonauts. Were the stars much bigger? Did they look like huge wells on black velvet, or apricots on orange? Did you feel proud to get closer to the stars? I saw color photos of the cosmos in Ogonek magazine. Now don't be upset, comrades, but non-figurative, shall we say, or abstract. Well, some of them looked just like a painting, which is to say they were terribly figurative and concrete. My heart was in my mouth looking at them. They are our endless desire to grasp things. Seeing them, I could even think of death and not feel sad at all. I never knew I loved the cosmos. Snow flashes in front of my eyes, both heavy, wet, steady snow and the dry, whirling kind. I didn't know I liked snow. I never knew I loved the sun, even when setting cherry red as now. In Istanbul too, it sometimes sets in postcard colors, but you aren't about to paint it that way. I didn't know I loved the sea, except the sea of Azov. Or how much I didn't know I loved clouds, whether I'm under or up above them, whether they look like giants or shaggy white beasts. Moonlight, the falsest, the most languid, the most petit bourgeois, strikes me. I like it. I didn't know I liked rain, whether it falls like a fine net or splatters against the glass. My heart leaves me tangled up in a net and trapped inside a drop, and takes off for uncharted countries I didn't know I loved. Rain, but why did I suddenly discover all these passions sitting by the window on the Prague-Berlin train? Is it because I lit my 6th cigarette? One alone could kill me. Is it because I'm half dead thinking about someone back in Moscow? Her hair straw blonde, eyelashes blue. The train plunges on through the pitch black night. I never knew I liked the night pitch black. Sparks fly from the engine. I didn't know I loved sparks. I didn't know I loved so many things, and I had to wait until 60 to find it out, sitting by the window on the Prague-Berlin train, watching the world disappear as if on a journey of no return.